that Joe Biden is officially the presumptive Democratic nominee for president. His 2024 reelection campaign begins full force. He will be running primarily on his record, right? What he has gotten done for the American people over the last 4 years. And here's the thing. This election's interesting and different. For the first time since 1892, when President Benjamin Harrison faced a rematch against his predecessor, Grover Cleveland, Biden will be running against the man who held the office just before him, the man he beat, the man who didn't want to leave. It sets up one of the most clear-cut apples-to-apples comparisons possible in a presidential election, right? Usually one of the people is an incumbent, the other is just sort of like talking about what they would do. They don't have a record. But here, in this case, you got two records to compare. How was the country doing when Donald Trump was president, as he catastrophically bungled the response to a once-in-a-century pandemic and then left in disgrace, having fomented an unsuccessful coup and getting impeached for it? And how are things now, 4 years later, under this president, Joe Biden? There is quite a story to tell about the general trajectory of American life in the last 4 years. And we just so happen to have some visual aids to help tell that story. We're going to show you some charts. And here's the thing about the charts, all right? Generally, you want the good stuff to go up and the bad stuff to come down, okay? Pretty simple. You want to see good stuff go up, bad stuff come down. So this is how that looks. Let's just start with GDP, gross domestic product. That is the measure and the value of all goods and services produced in the United States, right? It's the size of the U.S. economy. And like the rest of the world, we saw a significant drop. See when it goes down there, the constriction, that? In GDP in 2020, that was the pandemic. That was under Donald Trump's watch. But just look at the recovery in the 4 years since. Look at that, go up. In fact, the U.S. had the strongest recovery of all of its peers. Every country faced similar headwinds and challenges. Last year, our economy grew faster than any other nation in the G7. And when you zoom in a little further, now showing only the Biden years, it's essentially a straight line going up. That was not foreordained. A lot could have gone wrong. It's hard to pick yourself back up from a once-in-a-century pandemic and the disruptions. We've seen this growth now reflected in the stock market. Again, start low, go high, right? 4 years ago, Dow plunged. Remember that? Recording its worst ever drop in a single day on March 16th, 2020, almost exactly 4 years ago, under President Donald Trump. He was obsessed with the stock market. 4 years later, not only is it back on track, it hit an all-time record high at the end of last month. Once again, over the past year, right? From here to there, getting better. Now, there's a bunch of reasons for this really remarkable economic performance and growth in this era, the Biden era, the last few years. Jobs have really bounced back. Labor force participation rate, that's the percentage of people who are in the labor force, really increasing steadily from the COVID era lows, right? It hit lows during the pandemic, and then it goes up. New business applications. This is people starting businesses, which is, the American dream. In 2023 alone, Americans filed 5.5 million new business applications. That was a record high for the year. In fact, that was the third year in a row of record-breaking applications for a total of 16 million over the first 3 years of the Biden administration. Starts down here, goes up. Manufacturing is also booming, thanks to a flurry of Biden-signed legislation. More and more goods being produced in America again, bringing good-paying manufacturing jobs back into the U.S. See how that goes? Hospitality jobs, in particular, have bounced back after plummeting after the pandemic. Again, not a given the industry would recover fully post-COVID. You see it go down here. But travel's back. We can see from the number of passengers flying on U.S. airlines. This is the summer of 2020, right, in the depths, up to now July 2023. Across the board, and this is key, wages are rising faster than inflation. I mean, wages rising in real terms, okay? Workers now make an average of more than $34 an hour. Earnings are outpacing inflation, crucially. That means there is more money in Americans' pockets to spend. Disposable personal income. This is one of the most important charts here. Took a huge hit when COVID support ended and inflation spiked. It was really bad on people's balance sheets. Now it's on the right track. This is the last 2 years, having significantly increased in the last 2 years, from down here to up there. Another thing we're doing in the last 4 years, we're producing more of our own energy here in the U.S. Crude oil production, basically no one in America knows this, so listen closely. Crude oil production under Democratic President Joe Biden broke records last year. It is outpacing projections so far in 2024. In fact, we're producing right now more oil than any other nation ever has at any time ever. Now, you might say, as I do when I say that sentence, from a climate perspective, not great, which true, but crucially also, renewable power is booming. Renewable power generation is also up amid President Biden's $370 billion investment in clean energy through the Inflation Reduction Act. Inflation Reduction Act, remember that? Remember they named it that? Not necessarily because it was an inflation bill, but because of this chart. Inflation, this is the whole story of the last 4 years in some way. It's the reason, I think, that Joe Biden's faced political headwinds. This is also the story in every other country on earth. Inflation has had a rocky ride since the pandemic and the massive supply chain interruptions it brought. The Consumer Price Index, that's the measurement, right? Measurement that changed the average price of goods and services, hit 9% in the summer of 2022 right there. And that was bad. It caused severe financial strain for people. And crucially, this was a global phenomenon, happened basically everywhere. But look at this, since then, right? It has come way down. It's now hovering at 3%. Again, this was not guaranteed. If you go read the economic press back here, people are like, we're going to need a recession, or it's going to keep going up forever, or we're screwed, or we're walking to catastrophe. None of that happened. It has come down to 3%, and like economic growth, this is better than basically any of our peer countries. They would all trade places to be us. The unemployment rate has also dropped massively after hitting an unprecedented spike of nearly 15% in 2020, right? The same story in the chart. Bad things happen in 2020, and then they get better after Donald Trump leaves office. Over the past couple of years of the Biden presidency, unemployment has actually been hovering below 4% for an unprecedentedly long period of time. In the past year, amid all these economic improvements, mortgage rates, which have risen quite a bit as the Federal Reserve hiked rates, have started coming down as well, which is welcome. We're seeing gas prices drop. Remember this story from a spike at nearly $5 per gallon in the summer of 2022? People going around putting on their Joe Biden stickers on gas pumps, saying, I did that. You don't see that so much anymore because we're now down to a little over $3 per gallon. They start up here, they go down there. And finally, and this is the one conservatives love to get wrong, one we're obsessed with here on the show, there has been a big decrease in violent crime under President Biden. 2020 was one of the most dangerous years in America in a decade under Donald Trump. Violent crime spiked around the country. It spiked in both urban and rural areas. But in every year of the Biden administration, violent crime has come down. In fact, according to the latest estimates, 2023 is on track to have one of the lowest violent crime rates in half a century. So compared to 4 years ago, when Donald Trump was president, these are just the facts, okay? The country is safer. It is more prosperous. It is more energy independent. There are more people working and making higher wages, more people starting new businesses, more people working in manufacturing. The last year of the last president's term, of Donald Trump's term, was a nightmare. And because it was a nightmare, it's easy to block out. But look how far the country's come. This is what has been achieved under President Joe Biden. And it is the pitch you can expect him to be making to voters all this year.